Comindware Tracker is a no-coding workflow software that enables business people with no coding skills to increase business process speed, visibility, and team productivity. It provides powerful but easy-to-use tools for quick workflow creation, minimum involvement of IT staff. You can also modify workflows and forms on the fly with drag-and-drop simplicity. It has never been so easy to keep track of workflows and boost your team's productivity. First of all, I'll give you an idea of the product, accessibility, and show you Comindware Tracker's interface. Comindware Tracker works in any web browser, both desktop and mobile. It looks different for admins and basic users. You can have multiple administrator accounts, so there can be several department heads, each owning and maintaining his or her processes in the same system. Basic users will never see tools under the hood and options over and above what is needed. I'll show the product from the admin side, and at the end of the demonstration, I'll show you what product looks like for a basic user. From the basic user's point of view, Comindware Tracker really becomes more of a task management tool. Let's review key tools Comindware Tracker had for an admin and then deep diver into each one of them. Here are the 8 key tools for an admin. They allow you to build the digital versions of your processes together with data forms and other business logic you want to accomplish. You can build them right in the system's web UI and then also use it to maintain the processes, the forms, the KPIs, email notifications, etc. The first tool to show you is the Visual Workflow Builder, which makes it easy to design your own workflow and roll it out quickly. It defines the process flow and you can easily configure the change at any point. Let's imagine your CEO or CFO comes over and says, hey, we need to add one more approval step to the CapEx approval process. Here's how you can immediately jump in and make the change on the fly using the product's drag and drop interface. The workflow scheme also helps users visualize the process when working with it. This is where the process starts when a request comes in, then it goes for approval, then it can be rejected, or it could be sent to the accounting team and then to CFO and so on. Each one of these little circles is a process step, and if you double click on one of them, you'll get to configure what happens at that step. Who the task will be assigned to, the amount of time allocated for the task. We may preload some instructions for the owner of this task. Maybe there's a team of people that are going to own this task, or you'd like your request to go into a queue. As you can see, I'm not doing any programming to configure these steps. You can do time-based transitions and, for example, configure your request to sit at this step for 30 days before getting escalated automatically. You can do custom notifications to notify employees and even external people of your request arriving at certain workflow steps. You can also do API calls to integrate Comindware Tracker with external systems such as ERPs, payroll systems, CRMs, or any system you may have. Let's dive into the next admin tool, which makes it a snap to design web forms and dramatically simplify data entry. This is the product's form builder. It is used to configure the data fields users will see and fill out when working with your workflow. You can add fields from the library to the form with a simple drag and drop action. Your requests can also have file attachments. You can set forms up to be displayed differently under different conditions. We call that dynamic forms. This is useful when you want different users to see different data in the form, or even change the form depending on certain data. For example, high priority requests may require some additional info from the initiator. Here we go to the Fields tool, which helps and make your web forms even smarter. This is where you create custom fields before adding them to the form. Any kind of fields, dates with calendar view, drop downs, number of fields, or whatever types you need. You can also make some of the fields mandatory or optional. Mandatory fields will turn red when not filled out. Let's take a quick look at the security settings. You can set up different roles and, for example, show Anthony just has limited information on the form. You can go ahead and make these types of restrictions without any programming. Comindware Tracker makes it easy to show people as little as much information as you want, all the way down to the field level. One more useful admin tool is designed for setting up a variety of notifications. Let's talk about that. Email notification settings let you configure who gets notified on which event in your workflow. Users can also choose to install the optional Outlook plugin. It will allow them to work with their workflows tasks from their Outlook application. In some workflows, you may want to involve employees that won't be heavy users of Comindware Tracker. For example, a CFO or a district manager may need to do some occasional tasks in Comindware Tracker once a quarter or even less than that. Comindware Tracker lets them configure email-based approvals to let users complete workflow tasks without logging in. Here is an example of an email with a custom summary that gives the approver all the information needed to make the decision. It was custom built and generated by the system automatically. You can also have approval and reject buttons here to let approvers complete the task right from their email. And last but not least, admin tool to let you review all about data import and export. You can also export and import any data via CSV or Excel files manually. Use our open API to set automatic data exchange between Comindware Tracker and other systems in your company. You saw Comindware Tracker from the admin side. Now I'm jumping into what a basic user sees. You can quickly notice that my ribbons have changed up here. In case I would have a manager role, I would have a lot more options here in the menu. For example, a manager can follow anyone that one of their employees is doing by clicking here. Here's how a user creates a request via a web form. Once the request is submitted, it may look like this. It is a live form with a separate area for comments, descriptions, a workflow history, where you can see who did what over the course of a process or even the time each action took. Here you can check on the process flow and see where the request is right now. With Comindware Tracker, you can get full visibility and real-time control over the process of any item. Let's check how lists, columns, and filters help with it. As a basic user, I can check on the information I submitted, and I can save several of my preferred views here. Here are all the requests that have been resolved. I can also create a summary of which ones are still in process. I can also double-click on the request, and it takes me directly to the form I filled out, with all these discussions and notes, attachments, etc. Here you can see the current status of requests and why they turn red when they are overdue. In addition to lists, columns, and filters, tailor-made dashboards can allow even deeper visibility of the processes. You can also display your data in the form of dashboards and widgets and graphs to get a high-level overview on real-time situations in your processes. You configure Comindware Tracker to capture key KPIs and other process management info and matrix. For example, if you run a capital expenditure approval workflow, you can track the capital expenditure matrix by region, by department, by individual. You can also have the system show you all the active budgets and have a live view of all the requests per budget, per region, per approval status. Once the information is in the system, you can use it for managing your workflows, track KPIs, and report on it from any perspective. These are links, so if you like to see all the expenditure requests over 60,000, I can click here and get right to the list of them. And now to finish up, I'll show you how the personal data associated with the specific Comindware Tracker user is displayed. Each user has his own profile within our system. One of the tools available at the profile page lets you choose your substitute who will take over your task when you aren't available. One thing our system lets you ensure is that nothing will fall through the cracks anymore. If an employee goes on vacation or someone leaves your organization, you can handle that simply from their profile. This video was meant to give you a high-level overview of Comindware Tracker. But since Comindware Tracker has so many custom features, do you feel like checking how our product could address your specific needs? Just drop us a line and our experts will contact you shortly.